Lesson 14 had to do with your background and regulation strategies. And when I mean background, I'm not talking about that pretty picture on your laptop. I'm talking about how you came up and the people who surrounded you as you came up, where you're from, that sort of thing. And in terms of regulation strategies, these are the tools that keep people together and steady and happy. Okay. So we're going to start off with a whopping one question Google form. And I'm going to ask you to answer anonymously. And the question is, what tools do you use to regulate your emotions? Okay, again, don't share this openly. The Google form will speak for itself when your teacher projects all the different answers. Now, I am guessing, not in the room with you, but I am guessing that there's a wide variety how people go about doing things. And that's true because life is difficult and every human being has to figure out ways to cope and regulate their emotions. In other words, everybody's going through it, everybody's trying to do the best they can, and people use different tools to get through things. And I want to make a big point, a really big point. There is no one best way to regulate emotions. And as long as regulation strategies are safe, promote overall health, well being, and healthy relationships, they are valid. So if the way you are coping with life fits this, keep on keeping on. You're good. Okay. If the ways you cope don't match this, you might want to consider some different methods. You'll probably be happier. I would predict that. Okay. So this is a little heavy, but I think you can hang with this. And there's a lot of strategies within these big topics, but I want to give you some big overarching ways that human beings regulate their emotions. Okay. Number one is adaptive mechanisms. I want you to think about what are some things that you can do that offer positive help. And I don't want to give you too much stuff, but I know some people where they're feeling down, they're feeling low, and they'll do something in service of others and they feel better. Might work for some of you, might not work for some of you. Attack mechanisms. These are tools that people use that push their discomfort onto others. I'm having a bad day, so I'm going to be mean to somebody else. I'm going to take it out on somebody else. And sometimes you see people doing this in restaurants to waitresses and waiters, or you see, the term nowadays are Karens. You see Karen on social media. And I think the Karens of the world use attack mechanisms as their means of regulation. Not one I would recommend to anybody. Avoidance mechanisms, these are means where people avoid the issue. They pretend it's not there. They just physically walk away. They'll turn off the phone. They'll turn off the computer. They'll draw the blinds. They're going to avoid everything. And some people do that. Now, behavioral mechanisms. Behavioral mechanisms are behaviors that change what we do. And as a coach, I have seen this in people where people were not involved with sports and then they get involved with sports and all of a sudden they start lifting weights every day and changing their diet, and it changes them, that their behaviors change. I used to do this, now I do that. Cognitive mechanism, changing the way that you think, restructuring something into a different way. So for example, we had a family shindig not too long ago and the weather turned bad. It was a rainy day and some people were griping about it. And then my wife said, well, hey, the garden needed water. And the garden did need water. Okay, all the flowers needed water. So you can take something that's perceived as negative and change the way you think about it. Simple, lighthearted example, but that's a cognitive mechanism. Conversion mechanism, changing one thing into another, taking a situation and doing something else with it. The slang of it is flipping the script, if you ever heard that. Okay, you're kind of just flipping it around and turning a positive or a negative into a positive. Defense mechanisms. These are the tools that people have to keep their guard up. They keep their armor on. They're protecting themselves. They're always in defense. These are people who think the world's out to get them, people are out to get them, and they act accordingly. Those are called defense mechanisms. And then self-harm mechanisms. These are ones that I would hope you all avoid. Things where people hurt themselves. This is the root of substance abuse and that sort of thing. Okay, so I think if you look at this list, you might use some types of strategies within some of these, not others, but these are the big ways human beings regulate emotions. Okay, now that you've learned the different mechanisms, I want you to hypothesize. Okay, now, I want you to think what from somebody's background would lead them into a particular way of regulating. Okay, just showed you that list. and just hypothesize what would cause somebody to go down one road and not the other. And these visuals are going to give you a little, hopefully it sparks your brain a little bit. So every human being comes from a different culture, a different ethnicity, different belief system, different traditions, different countries. That would certainly affect how people handle things. People are raised quite differently. These are the 4 different types of parenting: an authoritative parent, an authoritarian parent, a permissive parent, an uninvolved parent. Okay, we're all raised by somebody, and it's quite different. Okay, so on top of these things, think about some details which would cause somebody to have a particular way of going about things. And I will share with you, just because you have a certain mechanism you're using right now doesn't mean you're going to use it your whole life. People can change, similar to last lessons, that people can change over time. Okay, so once we've gone through this drill, I'm going to ask you to write journal entry 14. And it's a fairly simple one today. What strategies do you use to regulate? What other strategies did you learn about that other classmates are using? Okay, just because you don't use it, it's good to know how other people go about doing things and being able to identify it, how they're doing things. Now, I'm going to remind you one more time, okay, because this is a big point. There is no one best way to regulate emotions, and as long as regulation strategies are safe, promote overall health, well-being, and healthy relationships, they are valid, and I certainly wish you safety and health and well-being and healthy relationships, and the mechanisms that you use in your life have a big bearing on the outcome in all those areas. So thank you for watching.